Let's talk the Outback Bowl between Penn State and Arkansas. Arkansas is a 1-point favorite, over under 48. This game will be played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, noon Eastern on ESPN2. Let me get the news out of the way. Penn State lost defensive coordinator Brent Pry, who left for Virginia Tech's job. I don't think they've named the DC for the bowl game. Both of Penn State's leading tacklers, both their linebackers, Brandon Smith and Ellis Brooks, opted out, as did safety Jaquan Brisker, who will play in the NFL. Just three massive losses. Javon Dotson, they're all everything receiver. He also is not playing here. And then on the Arkansas side, Treylon Burks, their star receiver, he declared for the NFL draft. They also lost Trey Williams to a DWI. My quick handicap on this game, Arkansas, by the way, much tougher schedule. Both teams like to use pace. Curious to get your thoughts there. Penn State offense, I mean, it's ugly. If you look at some of the metrics, they're outside the top 90 in EPA per play and success rate, and grading out right around average nationally when you adjust for schedule. That's because they can't run the ball at all. Like one of the worst rushing teams in the country. And now you remove Dotson for the passing attack. So I think that there's a lot of pass to success for this Arkansas defense. And then the other side of the ball, what can Arkansas do without the explosiveness of Burks? That's the primary question here. But yeah, Penn State defense missing both of their leading tacklers at linebacker, now their star safety. Big losses there. I played some Arkansas here at +1. I think when you adjust the rosters and look at the matchup, they're the better team here, clearly. And maybe the SEC is due for a win at the minimum. You'll be here. This is your team. What's the handicap?
Yeah, well,
imagine if the SEC has no wins by noon on Saturday. That means it's a Michigan Cincinnati final.
Yeah, and if they have no wins, it's on Arkansas to get their first win, which Sam Pittman has been a covering machine, 14-7-1 against the spread since he took over at Arkansas through 2 years. This team could not be more excited. They have won every rivalry trophy this year, from Battle Line to the Boot to the Southwest Classic against Texas A&M, and now they've got their eyes set on the Outback Bowl. Losing Treylon Burks is tough if Arkansas was going to spend the majority of this game in passing downs. I don't think they are. Now, one thing to look out for is Tyson Morris. The next biggest target on the list from a wide receiver perspective is Tyson Morris. He did not make the scheduled flight with the Hogs down to Tampa. Pittman said it's personal, so I'll just leave it up to that. Maybe he'll be here Wednesday for practice. There is no word as of this morning whether Tyson Morris has landed on the ground down in St. Pete or Tampa to get ready for this game. So Arkansas may be extremely limited in who they're going to hit downfield, but are they going to is KJ Jefferson going to need to throw downfield? I don't think that they're going to be in passing downs that much, because what you have is a elite running back unit. Dominique Johnson and Raheem Sanders, they're 2 yards away. Each of them are 2 yards away from Arkansas having 4 players that have 500 rushing yards on the season. Raheem Sanders, started getting nicked up, banged up, bruised up towards the end of the season. His production went down. Dominique Johnson, the last 2 games, was nicked up, bruised up. They've now all had a month to get fresh and ready. So
by the way, as of 20 minutes ago, Tyson Morris, good to go.
Good to go. So we have an option for KJ Jefferson to throw to in passing downs. It's good to know that he's in town and he's probably cleared COVID protocols and he's going to be there. So this is a run first option with Kendall Briles. And they're going to go hard at Penn State. And listen, you already mentioned PJ Mustipher. The rush defense for Penn State has been atrocious since he went down. Defensive interior, he's out of this game. Illinois went for over 350 yards between the tackles. And, Penn State has had to adjust since then. Now you're taking off their top 2 linebackers, who are also their top 2 tacklers, and you're taking Brisker out of the secondary. I can't see Arkansas getting into passing downs. I think between KJ Jefferson, designed runs, KJ Jefferson getting mobile outside the tackles, if they get into a 3rd and long situation, I just think this is a really bad deal for the Penn State defense. Not only lost their coordinator, we don't know who's calling plays. So then you switch to, the other side. And as far as tempo goes, these teams are 13th and 34th in tempo. And I expect Kendall Briles to pick it up to eliminate substitutions on the field. I think on the other side of the ball is where you're going to want to stop buying Arkansas at -1. Trey Williams is not going to be playing in this game, defensive edge for Arkansas. He had a DUI. I believe he fell asleep at a McDonald's. He declared for the draft a few hours later. That means the Hogs will be out with their lead pressure defensive edge going into this game. And I mean, it's by far John Ridgway knows has been good, but nothing compared to what Trey Williams has been. That should give Sean Clifford a little bit more time to throw. Mike Yurcich has done an amazing job of getting Sean Clifford to eliminate mistakes, but we've already mentioned it. They've lost Jahan Dotson. Dotson was everything. There may be no other offense in the entire country that is more dependent on a single player, where Dotson had 138 pass targets this season. So when you take Dotson being out, and then those three players that opted out of the defense, which account for 191 tackles, 31%, you've lost 31% of your defense by those players opting out. It's just a recipe for Arkansas to just absolutely steamroll Penn State, from the offense perspective. Now on defense, I get a little bit nervous. Jalen Catalon's been out for a while. He will return next season. Barry Odom, defensive coordinator, doesn't mind you getting all the available yards in between the 20s. He just wants the defense to be stout in the red zone. So I expect Penn State to actually kind of move the ball, especially with Trey Williams out, not applying any pressure. But I don't know who the players are that he's going to hit, and I don't know who's going to score any points, because this team is atrocious from a finishing drives perspective.
They can't run it. That's why they can't run it. And now you don't have Dotson to hit.
Can't run it. Yeah, can't run it. Can't throw it. Penn State fell outside the top 50 in tackling this season. That's a reflection of coaching. And without Brent Pry, I think that's going to get even worse. We've seen money come in on the over. It got down to 47, and there's some over money, big over money that hit it and popped it back up to 48. So my guess there is when Arkansas's running backs, who are fresh, bust through that line, which everyone else has been able to do since PJ Musfer went out, these could be like 12-yard type gains, and they may run this defense ragged. And there's one thing I know about this Arkansas team: they're on a mission. Grant Morgan, these seniors that are on this defense that have been through 3 different head coaches, haven't been to a bowl ever. We're not taking knees. We're not running slow. If the over is going to hit, it's because the secondary and the linebackers, fresh linebackers off the Penn State defense, can't tackle whatsoever. And the tackling metrics went down the last half of the season for Penn State. So, I'm with Arkansas all the way. Projected total at 49. I think at -1, you stop by and you look for maybe a juice money line. But this is Woo Pig Suey. I'll be in the building, and I look forward to seeing everybody.
No, you can tackle. You can go out there and make a tackle on a play if we need you, or pull a fire alarm or something. Throw a golf ball. We might need you to do something. We'll tweet you. But yeah, I'm with you. I wanted the under, assuming that Dotson and Burks were going to be out, but not, not anymore. These teams run pace, and then all of the Penn State opt-outs on defense are huge. Like you mentioned, their tackling issues. Well, their 2 best tacklers at linebacker are out, and then their top safety is out. And then Arkansas has some issues on defense, and you throw in the pace there. No, thank you on the under. I won't be on the over.
No Trey Williams is huge. No Trey Williams.
No Trey Williams. No Catalan.